All right, welcome back to NewsWire. The wait is over. Tonight's game one of the NBA Finals, Dallas Mavericks and Boston Celtics. Boston, from start to finish, has been the top of the East. Let's just be honest. They've been the best team in the East, maybe in basketball. And the surprise is that the Mavericks have gotten here. And in fact, there are a lot of other teams favored ahead of them, not to mention Denver, maybe Minnesota. A lot of people like the Los Angeles Clippers. But as we bring in Gilbert McGregor, indeed, it is Dallas making their appearance, a team that probably historically, Gilbert, when you look at it, really doesn't get enough credit, because through the years, the last 20 years, it's like every 5-6 years or so, here they are again. They're popping up. A lot of that was with Dirk, and I get that. Different team, different run in terms of that. But I guess the Mark Cuban run remains the same. He's been here throughout.
Honestly, that's true when you think about the Mavericks and the fact that it's pretty poetic. 20 years apart, 1998, they draft a generational prospect and Dirk Nowitzki. 20 years later, 2018, they take Luka Dončić, or they acquire each of those guys on draft night. And that's resulted in finals appearances and a championship in 2011. And now they're hoping another championship in 2024. So it's pretty impressive what the Mavericks have done and what Luka Dončić has done in 6 short years in his career. He looks like a 12-year vet out there for sure.
Yeah, and I think the Mavericks season is really on the line, not just with Luka, but Kyrie Irving. It just really feels that way. And I guess probably you could say that about any team. When the stars don't play well, they lose, and when they do, they win. But Boston is, without a doubt, a deeper team, and I think that's why, Gilbert, they've opened up as the heavy favorite to win the NBA Finals. And by the way, pretty heavy favorite tonight to win Game 1. 6.5-point favorites with a total of 215. I think it's fair to say, in our Coach Young, who's on our show, I don't know if you feel the same way, Gilbert, as that. I don't know when it's going to happen, but there's going to be a game in the NBA Finals where Boston's just not going to play well and lose. I don't think they're going to sweep. There's going to be a game. I think that this will happen. Is it tonight?
You know what? I don't know if it's tonight. The Celtics have had pretty much really good successes. The way that we're talking about, it doesn't seem like it's a team that's only lost twice these playoffs, but the only times they've lost have been in Game 2 in the first and second round. Now, there were a few games that they probably should have lost in the Eastern Conference Finals, but their talent got them over the hump, and they haven't lost a Game 1 yet. I think the atmosphere is going to be incredible at TD Garden tonight. I don't think it'll be too much for the Mavericks. I just think that it's going to lift this Celtics team past the Mavericks team, who's actually only won one Game 1. They've been a lower seed in every series throughout the playoffs as a 5 seed in the Western Conference. So they've had to steal one on the road, but they haven't been able to do it in Game 1, except in that Timberwolves series. I think the Timberwolves were a little shocked and a little tired after the emotions of that Game 7 they played in. The Celtics, 9-day rest since sweeping the Eastern Conference Finals. I think that they will be ready to go, and they'll take care of business tonight.
All right, 6.5-point favorites. Gilbert says, take the Celtics tonight. Now, as far as the Finals MVP is concerned, it seems like what I'm seeing on social media, Gilbert, is a lot of steam toward taking Jaylen Brown, who is 7-1. And if that's the case, my gosh, that's some serious money coming back on the eve of we're here on the NBA Finals. Now, Jayson Tatum's a favorite, and Luka, obviously, if Dallas wins, Luka's probably going to win it. Kyrie's 18-1. Boy, you'd be really reaching with Porzingis 33-1. So as they say, how many horses are in this race, Gilbert? Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 4? Do you like any of these in particular?
You know what? I think there is a lot of value with Jaylen Brown. We kind of had this conversation at the start of the Eastern Conference Finals, and I don't know if they'll give it to him 2 series in a row, but I think that we've kind of learned as a precedent as well, because he will be tasked with making life difficult for Luka Dončić at times and making life difficult for Kyrie Irving at times. So if you couple that with a couple of big performances, big moments, and big shots, that could be enough for him to put together a case to win Finals MVP. He's also a guy who I expect to kind of come out of the gate strong. He did it in the conference finals against the Pacers, had that big shot to force overtime, and he doesn't really seem fazed by the moment in times where other guys maybe are a little more tentative. So if Jaylen Brown gets out to a hot start this series, I could see those odds start to shift a little bit. So there's some value right now.
All right. Well, I mean, you had the Boston winning, I think, spot on in terms of the games. I believe you had Dallas too when they faced off against Minnesota here in the end. So I guess I would ask you this as we close the book on this game and this series in particular, because you can change your opinion, Gilbert, but everyone will remember this conversation. Let's just be honest. Who wins the NBA Finals, and how many games do they win it in?
I'm taking the Boston Celtics to win this series in 6 games, and I think that's because the Celtics have a few things going for them. The Mavericks have the best player in the series. There's no questioning that Luka Dončić is the best player in the series. But top to bottom, the Celtics are a more talented team, and they are a better team. The sum of all the parts works together much better. The big thing is the return of Kristaps Porzingis and how well will he be able to play after missing each of the last 2 series with that calf injury. But he unlocks so much for this Celtics team. He makes life difficult for those big men in Dallas who have played so well throughout the playoffs. So if Kristaps Porzingis is back healthy, playing at an efficient level, that relieves a lot of pressure on Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Not to mention they have a guy in Drew Holiday who's been here before. He's won in the NBA Finals before, and he can be a calming force for some of these guys on that Boston team who may still have some memories from how things went 2 years ago and kind of can avoid things going that same way they did against the Warriors in 2022.
All right, game 1 tonight of the NBA Finals. Now, before you go, Gilbert, it's very rare in this media cycle with rumors in the NBA to have a coach come out of nowhere to such a high-profile position to essentially take over the head coaching gig. Gilbert, that is what is happening this morning. Dan Hurley, I mean, this was not a name that was brought up to be coaching anywhere, let alone the Lakers. We had heard along potentially be J.J. Redick. Rumors usually come out before the facts. No rumors, just facts here. Just very quickly, Lakers pivoting here. I really want to know how this went down, don't you?
I'm really surprised. I wake up this morning thinking all I'm thinking about is NBA Finals prep, and I see this news on my phone that Dan Hurley could be making the leap. He's a great coach. He's probably established himself as the best coach in college basketball. He made the leap from high school to Rhode Island to UConn and lead them to back-to-back titles. I can see it. It's going to be a tall task to do it. As you mentioned, a high-profile job with the Lakers. Expectations to win a title will be placed on him right away, but I can see it happening. It's going to be interesting to see. He's a no-nonsense coach, and that doesn't necessarily always fly in the pros. But if anybody can do it, I think Dan Hurley could.
All right, Gil. We're very surprising, by the way, on game 1 of the finals that we would get a piece of news like this. Usually they don't do that. It's usually reserved for an off day. But anyway, thanks for coming on the show, Gilbert. Enjoy the finals. We'll catch up again next week.
Looking forward to it.